Our next story takes us to the Eastern Pacific. The U.S. has struck a suspected drug boat. 4 people on board are dead. Washington says the boat was run by a designated terrorist group, and it says the vessel was carrying illicit narcotics. This strike is part of a much larger U.S. campaign at sea. It's a campaign that has targeted several boats in recent months and left more than 80 people dead, 80. But the timing of this new strike is delicate. Washington is divided over an earlier attack where a boat was hit twice. Some lawmakers have questioned the strike, others are defending this attack. All of it is happening as U.S. naval forces continue to build up in the Caribbean. Here's a report.
A new U.S. strike has taken place in the Eastern Pacific. Another suspected drug boat has been hit, and 4 people on board are now dead. The Pentagon confirmed the attack on Thursday. U.S. Southern Command released a short video of the strike. It showed a small vessel moving across open water before a blast engulfed it. The Southern Command said the operation was authorized by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. It said the vessel was operated by a designated terrorist organization, and their intelligence confirmed that the boat carried illicit narcotics. It also claimed that the vessel was traveling along a known narco-trafficking route in the Eastern Pacific. This strike is part of a wider U.S. campaign in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific. It is reportedly called Operation Southern Spear. Over recent months, the U.S. has targeted several suspected drug boats as part of the operations. More than 80 people have been killed in these attacks, but this new strike comes at a sensitive moment. Washington is still debating a September attack that has now triggered bipartisan scrutiny. In this case, a suspected drug boat was struck once. Then it was struck again. Lawmakers were shown classified footage this week. They saw the follow-up strike, and they left the briefing with very different views. Some called the footage one of the most troubling things they had seen in office. They said the survivors appeared unarmed and in distress. They noted that targeting shipwrecks is prohibited under the U.S. military's own manual. Legal experts have said the second strike could amount to a war crime. But others have defended the operation. They said the second strike was justified and claimed that the survivors were trying to escape from the capsized boat, and they argued that the crew still posed a threat. The White House says Hegseth did not order the second strike. Even President Donald Trump has said he was not aware of the second strike. Officials say the decision was made by an admiral who oversaw the operation.
I learned that that commander had made which he had the complete authority to do, and by the way, Admiral Bradley made the correct decision to ultimately sink the boat and eliminate the threat. He sunk the boat, and eliminated the threat. And it was the right call. We have his back.
But now, families of victims are also coming forward. Relatives of a Colombian fisherman have filed a complaint. They say he was wrongly killed in another U.S. strike in September. All of this is now shaping a larger debate in Washington, because President Trump says the United States is fighting what he calls narco-terrorists. He has deployed major naval assets to the Caribbean, and he has repeatedly said land strikes inside Venezuela could begin soon. Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, has accused the United States of using anti-drug operations as a pretext to overthrow his government. Both sides signal they are prepared for the next phase. The question now is not over these individual strikes, but what happens if this campaign moves from the sea to the land.
I rose from the army with medals on my chest. I spoke of freedom from colonial chains, but I tightened my own. I filled prisons with ghosts. Nearly 500,000 people were butchered under my rule, and I trusted only my paranoia. I gave myself grand titles. I claimed to be Africa's strongman. History calls me something else, the dictator. Who am I?